Hi and welcome to Connie Art. I've got a Scrawlrbox today. Let's open it and see what's inside. Let's have a look at the artwork first. We have, if you're not learning every day, then you're not living every day. And it's in beautiful colours. Looks like a purple, a blue, a green, a red and a yellow. And it looks like brush lettering. Not something that I am very good at, or I've tried, to be honest, very often. My handwriting's not great, so that's why. So we'll have a look at the paper. So some nice paper in here. It's got some bits on it. Let me get them off. Let's have a look at what's in here. So we've got, little lolly has fallen out. It is a fruit salad chewy lolly by the looks of it. Yummo. Pop that there. Something else is falling out. Ooh, a white kneadable eraser. That is really cool. Okay, I've got a pink one of these and a grey one, and I mixed them together to make a purple one. I haven't got a white one, so that's very good. Let's open the tissue paper now. My favourite Scrawlrbox sticker yet. It's a pink and blue that it melds together in the middle to make purple. Ooh, what do we have in here? Is this... oh, some markers. Words of Wisdom is the prompt. Let's have a look. We've got a Unipin 0.5 water and fade proof resistant pen. Looks like in black. That is a 0.5, and this is a 0.1 Unipin pen. A very fine little one. And we have a Viking Element graphite writing pencil in HB. And then what is this? Very curious. Ecoline brush pens. If I am not wrong, these are watercolor pens. I've really wanted to try some stuff by Ecoline before, but never got around to it. So this is brilliant. Although I must say I do have watercolor brush pens, and then I'm not the biggest fan of them. These look like they're in pastels too. Oh, so nice. Let's pull one out. Yay, a purple. All right, now, perfect. And it looks like a brush nib. Gray, a blue, a pink, a green, and then the purple. Very nice. So words of wisdom. April. This month you want to think about an inspirational quote, something that motivates you to create something or be a better person. It can be a famous quotation, something your grandma always said, or something you created yourself. Use the supplies in this box to either write out the quote in beautiful brush letters like our featured artist, or draw something to effectively communicate the essence of the phrase. Interesting. Okay, I'm not a fan of brush lettering because our handwriting's not great, like I said. I forgot to show the artist, so let's do that before I get stuck in. So it's an Instagram artist by the looks of it. Kiki B is an American artist, and her Instagram handle is right there. Okay, cool. I'm getting to do some swatching. I'm going to do the graphite writing pencil, and I am guessing it's going to be just a pencil. Yep, the regular pencil. Next up we have a Unipin water and fade proof marker, and this says these pens are actually in dark and light grey, so the 0.1 is actually in a dark grey. So let's see what this one's like. Oh yes, so it's a grey kind of colour rather than a black, which is really nice. It's nice to have something different, and also I think this would go really well with the pastels, so that's interesting. Then we have the Unipin 0.5 in the light grey, so this will be interesting because that was quite a light grey. I like how these clip on the back. I have Artline waterproof markers, and they actually don't clip on the back, so I like this much better, and I like the little clear barrel where you can see the nib as well. So the light grey, it's kind of very similar, but also different at the same time. 0.5, and this is going to be the light grey. I'll write it down here. Nice, you can actually see the difference more in those two there. Then we've got the Ecoline brush pens. So we've got a grey. Kind of tearing the paper up a little bit, not too bad. I wonder if I got a water brush, how that would blend out. The purple. I love the lightness of these colours. It's really cool. What I think might be a problem with this though is there's not going to be a lot of contrast because there's no real dark colours. I think the darkest I probably could get is with a pencil. Yeah, if I press it a little bit harder. Beautiful colors though. Let's see how dark this blue is. Okay, still a really light color. I love it though. Like, oh, okay, so you can layer and it will be a bit darker, but it does tear the paper a bit more. And a green. I've let it dry a little bit more before I put the second layer on. It doesn't tear the paper quite as much, so that's good to know. Now I'm going to get a water brush. Let's see what that's like. Okay, they don't really move. These colors do not really shift. Let's try this one. No. Interesting. I was expecting these to have a watercolor effect. I wonder if I put the color down and then try and do that straight away, if I get any color shift. Okay, a little bit, but not too much. Let's try blending it with the blue. Can't really make the edges softer, but there is kind of a lighter gradient in between the two. Now to come up with an idea, I'm not really a person that gets into like thinking about quotes or anything much like that, so I don't really know what to do. I think that one of the quotes that would probably first come to mind, especially as far as inspirational quotes go, I'm not really big on that kind of thing. So the quote I thought of immediately when this prompt come up was, it's not about waiting for the storm to pass, but it's about learning how to dance in the rain. I think that sums up life.
So first I decided to sketch out a girl. She's going to be my subject, who's going to be dancing in the rain. It actually took me a really long time. I think maybe 40 minutes to sketch her out. I was going very slowly today, and yeah, just taking my time and enjoying the process. I'm sorry if you can hear like banging. My house is banging at the moment because we've had like a bit of a storm happening all day today, so there's been noise, and I couldn't record a voiceover at the time of actually drawing this because the rain was so heavy that it was pounding on my tin roof that I have and making awful racket, and you couldn't hear any of the audio. So this part of the video I decided to voice over later. So I absolutely did decide to go with the quote of life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. I'm not really super into quotes, like I mentioned before. I find them to be a little bit corny and sometimes over the top. Sometimes they can be really nice, but I also find them to be a little bit forceful in being positive all the time. And I think positivity has its place, but I also don't think that it's something that we should always do. How can you be positive if you don't ever have the negative as well? Anyway, enough of that. Back to my picture. So the reason it took me so long to draw this sketch was because I struggle to draw people standing still and straight. So drawing somebody that's dancing is extra tricky. So after I finished the sketch, I dabbed out the sketch as much as I could with the kneadable eraser, and then I started to line it in the darker grey 0.1 nibbed pen. And I really like the look of it. It's not as stark and in your face as a black liner pen would be. So I think that it really went well with the pastel pencils. I'm not the greatest at hair, as you can see. I'm trying to put the strands in very, very carefully. And in the end, I just ended up squiggling down her ponytail, but I think it still looks okay. And her dress, I wanted to make it have a little bit more detail than what I generally put into a dress. I also drew this character without a reference photo, which is a bit of a stretch for me, and I think another reason why it took so long to draw, because I so heavily rely on reference photos. Overall, I think that my ability to draw characters without a reference photo is improving, but I think I still have a long way to go. In this particular picture, her legs aren't quite twisted in the direction that they should be, but I don't think that it's very noticeable. After I finished drawing her, I put it like she was stepping in a wet puddle because I'm going to put some rain in a little bit later. So I did some light circling around her foot to show that she was stepping into some water as she was dancing. I actually forgot to put in, which you'll see later, some little droplets coming out from her feet to signify that she's splashed in the water that's on the ground, but that's okay. It still looks like it is kind of a puddle that she's stepping in. For the dress, I decided to use the green marker, and I did some solid green stripes that all go horizontal, and then I decided to do polka dots on the top, and then I coloured in the dark shadows with the liner pen. Then I did a small dot of blue in her eye so she could have blue eyes. Not that it's very noticeable, but it's there. And then of course I had to give her purple hair, and I just enjoy putting purple on any picture if I can help it. And purple hair is the best. I actually want to dye my hair purple one day. I did give it a go once, and the dye that I bought wasn't the right purple. Like, it turned out looking red. So I ended up not actually having purple hair, and I haven't been brave enough to try and do it again after that bit of a disaster. I do have purple hair dye in my cupboard though, so maybe I will be brave enough to do it in the next little while. Maybe just some streaks or something. Anyway, back to the picture. So I scribbled the pink onto a piece of glass, and then I used a very small brush and dipped it in some water and added water to get a really light colour for her skin. When I initially did a practice thumbnail in my sketchbook, I had just put the pink brush pen on her skin and it was way too dark. So that method really lightened down the skin tone and made it look a lot better. For the water at the bottom, I used the blue and the grey, and then just streaking it around, and then I did it in a wash over the top just with a regular paintbrush and some water. Last of all, of course, I put on the quote, "My hand lettering is not great." I tried to go really carefully and slowly at the beginning to make it neat, and that wasn't working, so I just went in and drew it in my normal handwriting, which probably wasn't the best, but that's fine. It is what it is. It's still on the piece of paper. I am not too interested in hand lettering, so it looks good enough for this project. And then I went along and gave them drop shadows on all the letters just to make it stand out a bit, because those markers are pastel and really light in colour. So I wanted to pop off the page a little bit more. After I had finished the lettering of this piece, I just went over with the grey marker and also the blue marker and did streaks in a vertical lines down the paper to signify the rain dropping down everywhere. And I hope that's what it looks like. That was the purpose of putting all those streaks on there, and I think it kind of does look like rain. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with what I have done. Oh, that's right, I put a little border on it before I finished up, so I just drew a little border all the way around the edges just to bring the whole piece together. And that's pretty much it for this one. So here is my final artwork for this Scrawlrbox challenge. I'm quite happy with how the character turned out. It was nice and fun to do, and I will definitely be using these markers in my sketchbook from now on. Today's shout out goes to Brenda from Pyrography Made Easy. Her channel is absolutely amazing. She does some absolutely gorgeous artwork, and it's all burnt onto wood using a burning tool. I didn't even know pyrography was a thing until I seen her channel, and I'm just in love with her gorgeous artwork. So make sure you go and check out her channel with the link in the description, and tell her Connie says hi. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every single time I put a new video up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!